Time for another episode of the Nerdy Virgin podcast. My name is Joshua Snyder. Hello. How are you? How are you? Terrified? Yeah, me too. Ha 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 ha. So, I am feeling... I'm genuinely feeling terrified. I feel like there's a lot of anger in the air because a lot of terrifying things are happening that are making people angry overall. And... I really think that if you've really watched or listened to my podcast, you know that I've made it an art to take the all of the world's suffering and find a way to make it about me. Narcissism. And it is, it is very scary. But here's the other thing that's starting to happen. Like, I'm 44. And what's beginning to seep in is, that's life. That's what, that happens. Yeah. It all fell apart. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, gonna see it again. So, I don't know. I guess my message is not so much that it gets better. It's more that, you get used to it. I'm talking with my dad, and he's still grieving over my mom's death. And I said, well, you've got to figure out, what's your passion, what drives you in life. And then he was like, I just got to learn to endure. And it sounded like, Clint Eastwood on the plains, subsisting off of the land, very down. Just got to find a way to learn to eat that cacti. Just kind of like, that's not the kind of uplifting energy that I would hope for in anything. But I'm just trying to be there for him as much as possible and trying to figure out a way to stay positive, I guess. One positive thing, Suzy Izzard is doing her one-person Hamlet. And I saw that at the Montalban Theater, and that was awesome. I highly recommend it. You should see it. You must see it. You must see it. She plays all of the characters. And at no point was I lost. I totally understood everything. The language was very clear. It was awesome. So there's that. I saw Tron Ares. There's also that. That's I saw it. What's the review on it? You know what the review on it? Here's the review on it. I liked it. And any fan of the Tron franchise would like it. But here's the trick. If you're not a Tron fan, I think you're going to have a hard time with it because it operates under the assumption that you've seen the other two movies, which is fine. But I enjoyed Jared Leto, I got to say. I think overall the story was good. I feel like the last act could have used a bit more explosions, to be totally honest with you. But overall, I enjoyed the film. A few quibbles. Let's just get through the few quibbles. Okay, if you're going to call it Tron, have Tron in it. Tron in the first Tron was one of the central characters of Tron. Tron. I'm Tron. I fight for the users. Tron. And even in the second movie, he's there, not front and center like I think he should have been. But still, he's around. Third movie, you're going to call it Tron, you need a Tron. You just need a Tron. You just can't call it, you can't call it Hamlet and it's about Henry V. You can't do it. You can't do that. You can't call it Jaws and there's no shark. You see the new Jaws movie? Yeah. How was it? How was the shark? Oh, there's no shark. Well, what was the plot? Well, it was about this oil man who was taking over this land. And, it's sort of like a land shark, if you will. But there was no actual shark. No. Just the oil man, just evil oil man. Another great performance by Timothée Chalamet. He is truly a chameleon. You got to have Tron in Tron, man. You got to have Tron in Tron. Even if it's just a cameo. Just, hey, it's me, Tron, just saying hi. Who's that? Oh, it's Tron. Hey. All right, back to the movie. Just even that would have been nice. I would have appreciated that. Also, here's the other quibble. I'm done with the light coming out of the back of vehicles. That it seems to be in the world of Tron. There is a vehicle, and light comes out of the back of the vehicle, and if another vehicle hits that light, it explodes. But now it's in the real world. They've still got the vehicles, and there's still light coming out of them. But it's light you can touch. You can climb over it. That's not light. That's taffy. It's glowing taffy. That's what it really is, and it's starting to bug me. I got to be totally honest with this light situation. Not happy. So we've got that happening. There's that. Here's the other thing too. I was reading behind the scenes of this Tron Ares, and apparently it takes place. More of it takes place in the real world than in the computer world, and apparently that was done for budgetary reasons. Which I totally get. Look, I understand it. It's hard to get these tentpole movies made. I know we're all doing the best we can, but remember, if it's a Tron movie, the whole point is you're in the computer world. That's why you watch a Tron movie. Did you see Planet of the Apes? Yeah. How are the apes? No apes. It was just an oilman. A drama with an oilman trying to take over the land. What? The last time I heard about a movie doing that, I got to be totally blunt with you, was the Masters of the Universe movie in the 80s, where they're like, we want to do a He-Man movie, but we don't have the budget to actually have it take place on Eternia, so we'll just set it on Earth. And that's where you have He-Man in a Cadillac, He-Man fighting at a mall, He-Man, there's a bunch of monsters attacking the high school cafeteria at the dance. Hope He-Man's there. Tron. I want Tron, and I want the world of Tron. And maybe, we find a new kind of thing for the vehicle. Maybe it's not all about taffy coming out of the back of it. That's my request. Is this enough? I feel like this is enough. This feels tight. This feels good. This feels like enough. Let's stop there. Transition. Hey, Darth Maul, did you open the door for that guy? Yeah, what's the problem? You're a Sith Lord, okay? You don't do nice things for people. We were both going in at the same time. Not a big deal. You're supposed to be evil. I mean, big picture, sure, trying to take over the universe, but I mean, in this particular case, why not? It's a slippery slope, okay? Today, you're opening the doors for people. Tomorrow, you're letting people go. And then day after that, you're like force healing. I mean, would it balance things out if I punched you in the face? It would, actually. Transition. Kirk, because you violated Starfleet orders, we're reducing your rank to captain. Excuse me, can we totally not do that at all? We're in the middle of a trial here. Every other admiral in this organization is a moron. We should be giving this guy a promotion, frankly. He violated Starfleet orders. Yes, in order to resurrect Spock, the greatest officer Starfleet has ever seen in the history of this organization. In fact, why didn't all the other admirals rally and go, no, you should totally go do that? Well, they're standing Starfleet orders. You mean to tell me that you heard the chance to resurrect Spock and you don't take the chance? You're an idiot. Well, there were other circumstances with the Genesis device and whatever. Genesis can be used as a weapon. You're only letting the science team go there? You should have had a military presence. Look, Starfleet is not on trial here. Captain Kirk is on trial here. What's the big deal? He stole the Enterprise. You were going to put it in mothballs anyway. You're not making any sense. Transition. Well, it's happened. We've run out of Earth rivers to name all these Deep Space Nine runabouts. So what's the new naming convention? We're going to start naming them after 80s songs. I've always wanted to fly aboard the USS Take On Me. We'll have to make sure the USS Our House has the in the middle of the street section added to it. Transition. Skeletor. He-Man. Can I just say, your muscles are incredibly well defined. Yeah, it's all magic. All magic. Yeah, me too. All magic. Transition. I'll tell you, I'm glad I found magic, because otherwise, I mean, this would take, years of sculpting and push-ups. I know, I eat so many bad carbs, and then I just say, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power, and suddenly it's like I've been on keto. Yeah, I'm glad we live on a planet with magic, because the people on Earth, I don't know what they do. How do they do it? I'm glad I'm not there. I miss the dustbuster phasers of the 24th century. Yeah, these 32nd century phasers with they're back to the traditional style of what a phaser looks like. Yeah, remember the dustbuster phasers? I'll tell you why they got rid of them. It was too much on the wrist. That is the downside of a dustbuster phaser. You've got to kind of hold it that way instead of like normally hold it like that. Yeah. At least 15 phaser wrist-related injuries aboard the Enterprise D on a daily basis. But they were easier to store. Much easier to store. That's the beauty of a dustbuster phaser. Like, they should even offer it as an option, shouldn't they? I have a suggestion box.
Transition.
I'm a TIE fighter pilot. Oh, good. Okay, most of us make it back, all right? I think what people say about us is, guys, we've got an emergency. I need a spaceship that has a lot of cargo space. You know, I would, but it's just a TIE fighter. It's very compact. Yeah, dude, I said a ship, okay? I think he's a little sensitive about being a TIE fighter pilot. Hey, I am proud of being a TIE fighter pilot. How come you're not wearing your breathing thing? The oxygen mask that everybody should wear in every ship because things might go wrong? I'm not in a ship right now. They don't need to wear that in the Millennium Falcon, which we could really use right now, by the way. I have Han's number. Do you want me to call him? Yeah, please call him. So what landing pad are we all going to meet at? So my ship really can't land on a pad. It needs like those fork things to kind of grab it. Is that going to be near the landing pad? Just right in my ship, okay? I don't have to. I mean, it's a perfectly good TIE fighter as long as it's not hit with anything.
Transition.
So the Athena just leaves the warp drive in orbit? Leaves the warp drive in orbit. Never leave the warp drive in orbit. That's a bad mistake. Well, it can't take the warp drive all the way down to the surface with it. On the planet where apparently all objects can defy gravity at will, I think they could figure it out. Well, no one wants to be too close to warp engines when, you have living in an apartment. You should never be too far away from the warp drive. Inevitably, you're going to have to warp out of something. That is what Starfleet always has to deal with. Unless there's a warp core breach. Yes, when you're on the ship that has the warp drive, you want to be on the part of the ship that's farthest away from the warp drive, but you still want the warp drive to be attached to the ship at all times. What if there's an emergency? Oh no, there's an emergency. We left the warp drive over there. All you'll be left with is a saucer section. Let me tell you something. If all you have is the saucer section, you have nothing. Yeah, maybe you can do like an antimatter spread, but how far is that going to get you?
Transition.
Penny for your thoughts. I mean, I just hate this space station and most of the people on it. You humans are a mystery to us, Malaxians. Dude, you look exactly like us, okay? Obviously, we're completely different species. It's not like your species always carries around a spoon. Any one of us could do that. The wormhole's opening. Looks like it's a new alien species. Maybe it's something we've never seen before and they'll carry forks. We are the Malaxians. We've entered your galaxy to ask you a very important question. Well, you're holding a knife. Is it a butter-related question? Have you figured out a way to not be lonely, but be alone? Oh, ain't that the holy grail? No, you still have to do the thing where you're in a relationship with other people? Yeah. All right, people. There's nothing interesting on this side of the wormhole either. It's amazing how different they are. I hate it here so much.
Nerdyvirgin.com